All right. Shalom, shalom. Let's get right to it. Check it out. Let's see. All right. Let's be good. Okay. All right. So we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Abishai. Double honor to the apostle brothers of the great millstone. Shalom to the hope of the back. What the title is World War III is at hand. Repent. Let me get a scripture. What I'm gonna get something that I could be already. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1 says, "The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, as the river of water be the river. He turned me again." Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the river of water. He turned it whatsoever his will." Right, his will. Let's read that again. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the river of water. He turned it whatsoever his will. Right, his will. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Proverbs. I always get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It said, "Remember now the crazy day of thy youth, while the evil day come not, nor the year draw near, what I should say, I have no pleasure in them." Right, but remember now the crazy day of thy youth. Read it again, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. "Remember now the crazy the day of thy youth, when the evil day come not, nor the year draw near, what I should say, I have no pleasure in them." All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, it say, "For every battle of the world is with confusion noise, and a garment rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fear of fire." Right, burning with fear of fire. Let's get into it. Burning with fear of fire. Yeah, together, but it's all right. Let's get right.
"Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong."
Хочу напомнить, что наша страна
Our country, too, has different weapons of destruction. In some cases, they are more modern than those of NATO. If the territorial integrity of our country is threatened, then to defend Russia and our people, we shall, of course, use all means at our disposal. I am not bluffing.
We realize that our resources, of course, have their limits, and the next spiral of escalation can only be one: nuclear. And we don't have the resources to defeat the NATO bloc with conventional means, but we have nuclear weapons for that.
Закончили переключение в системе ОВД.
Система ОВД, гидравлика в норме.
Есть курс. Контакт 2 на тихо. Точка 1, открывает крышу шахты ДР-4. 2, 1. Принять старта. Передвижение старт ракеты шахты 24. Есть.
In one sense, we kind of are already in World War III. We are in the midst of what they call sub-threshold conflict.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
We have very disturbing news coming out of the Biden administration. This could directly cause World War III. In fact, if they continue as planned, it will cause World War III. In the beginning of this conflict, people suggested that we send the Patriot missiles to Russia. So the Pentagon says, oh, no, we can't send Patriot missiles to Ukraine because we'd have to put American boots on the ground. Now, guess what we announced? We're sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine. So I guess we're going to put soldiers over there with tennis shoes on so we can't say that they have boots on the ground.
It would escalate the conflict and increase the risk of the U.S. Army being drawn directly into the conflict. But as they say, hang the expense, even if that expense is other people's lives.
Russia has already said, if you put Patriot missiles in Ukraine, and then they showed pictures of their latest nuclear device, and then they had a general come out and say, well, we don't need to hit Washington, D.C., we'll hit London because that's where all the nastiness is, and London's real close and we can hit them in minutes.
Не надо сначала по Вашингтону, слишком далеко. Лондон рядом. Лондон рядом. Но ведь сегодня, если брать вот эту Европу, так называемую, то главный рассадник всей гадости – это именно Лондон.
Может, вы серьезно говорите, что нужно ударить по Лондону?
Серьезно считаете, что надо ударить по Москве? Они об этом серьезно рассуждают. А мы должны стесняться говорить о том, что мы должны ударить по Лондону.
They just threatened to nuke London if the U.S. puts Patriot missiles on the ground in Ukraine. This is reckless. Additionally, this means that missiles fired from the Patriot missile batteries can go deep into Russia and threaten nuclear bases. Absolutely ridiculous. We have more warmonger in the White House that's going to get us into a nuclear war.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
All right, let's get right into it. Was that Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5? Oh, what's on the other one? Okay. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It said, for every battle of the war is with confusion noise, and garment rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fear of fire. Right, burning and fear of fire. No, let's go to Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. It said, come near, you nations, to hear, and hearken, you peoples, let the earth hear, and all things all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, his fury upon all their army. He hath only destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. For the slain also should be cast out, and the stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountain should be rolled. Now the mountain should be melted with their blood. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all the hosts shall fall down as the leaf falling off the fig, as the fallen fig from the fig tree. Isaiah 34, verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon a doom upon the people of my curse to judgment. No. Upon dooming upon the people of my curse, yeah, to judgment, yeah. Isaiah 34, verse 8. For the day of the Lord, for it, the day of the Lord, vengeance, and a year of recompense for the congregation of Zion. Let's go to let's go to Isaiah 13, verse 5. It says to come from the far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapon of his indignation to restore the whole land, right? The whole land. Hallelujah, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come destruction from the Almighty, right? From the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they should be afraid of pain, and sorrows should take hold of them. They should be in pain as a woman that travail. They shall be amazed one to another. Their faces should be as flame. Verse 9, behold, the day of the Lord come cruel, both with wrath and fury, anger to lay the land desolate. They should distort the sinners thereof out of it. Right? Should distort the sinners. Isaiah 13, verse 9 again. It said, behold, the day of the Lord come cruel, both with wrath and fury, anger to lay the land desolate. He should distort the sinners thereof out of it, for the star of heaven and the constellation thereof should not give their light. The sun should be darkness in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil and their wickedness, for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogance of their pride to cease, and I will lay low hardness of terror. Right, lay no hardness of terror. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore I shall shake the heaven, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fury anger, right? His fury anger. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. He said, therefore I shall shake the heaven, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fury anger. I should shake the heaven. All right, what else? Isaiah 47, verse 1. I'm just going to get to the point, okay. Isaiah 47, verse 1. It said, come down and set in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Set on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of Chaldean, for that shall no more be called tender and delicate, right? Isaiah 47, verse 4. As for our redeemed, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51, verse 1. Thou said to the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me, a destroying wind, right? Destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fan that she had fanned her. She had emptied her land, for it's a day of trouble that should be against her round about, right? Round about. Jeremiah 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off for iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. A recompense. Babylon being a golden cup in the Lord hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nation had drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? The nations are mad. Verse 9, we will heal Babylon, but they should not heal, forsake her, and let us go everyone unto his own country, for her judgment is reached up to the heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky, right? Lifted up even to the sky. Let me see what we got here. Jeremiah 51 verse 55. Yeah, Jeremiah 51 verse 54. A sound of cry coming from the Babylon, a great destruction from the land of the Chaldean, because the Lord has spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice when her waves do roar like a great water. None of those voice is uttered. Verse 56, because a spoil is coming upon her, even upon Babylon, and the mighty men are taken. Every one of their bow is broken, for the Lord power of recompense shall surely require. Right. What else? Let me see. Yeah, okay. Jeremiah 51 verse 64, and they shall say, they shall Babylon sink, shall not rise from the evil that I brought upon her, and they shall be weak where therefore, as the word of Jeremiah, right? Let's read it again. Jeremiah 51 verse 64, they shall say, thou shalt Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I bring upon her, and they shall be where therefore are the words of Jeremiah. All right, let me get right into it. Okay, let's go to Joel chapter 3, verse 14. Joel chapter 3, verse 14. Multitude in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon should be darkness, and the stars should withdraw thy shine. Right, thy shine. I want to try to get them. What else? Zephaniah 2 verse 1. It said, gather yourself together, O nation not to desire, before the cream break forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the free anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord anger come upon you. Read again. Zephaniah 2 verse 2, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fury of the anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord anger come upon you. Seek you the Lord, all the meek of the earth, which are wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness and seek meekness. It may be you should be hid at the day of the Lord's anger. Right, you should be hid at the day of the Lord's anger. Zephaniah 2 verse 3 again. It says, seek you the Lord, all the meek of the earth, which are wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be you should be hid at the day of the Lord's anger. What else? Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, behold, the day come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud yet that do wicked shall be stubble, and all that comes shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts. They shall leave them nor rooted nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness rise with the heel of his wings. You shall go forth as to grow up as a child of the style. You shall trim down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the sole of thy foot. In the day that I shall do this, said the Lord of hosts. All right, move on. Sales going book. All right, let's go to Matthew 24, verse 42. It say, watch you therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come. Right, watch. Let's get right into it. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. It said, blessed he that readeth and hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right, for the time is at hand. So let's get right into this.
We have very disturbing news coming out of the Biden administration. This could directly cause World War III. In fact, if they continue as planned, it will cause World War III. In the beginning of this conflict, people suggested that we send the Patriot missiles to Russia. So the Pentagon says, oh, no, we can't send Patriot missiles to Ukraine because we'd have to put American boots on the ground. Now, guess what we announced? We're sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine. So I guess we're going to put soldiers over there with tennis shoes on, so we can't say that they have boots on the ground.
It would escalate the conflict and increase the risk of the U.S. Army being drawn directly into the conflict. But as they say, hang the expense, even if that expense is other people's lives.
Russia has already said, if you put Patriot missiles in Ukraine, and then they showed pictures of their latest nuclear device, and then they had a general come out and say, well, we don't need to hit Washington, D.C., we'll hit London because that's where all the nastiness is, and London's real close and we can hit them in minutes.
Не надо сначала по Вашингтону, слишком далеко. Лондон рядом. Лондон рядом. Но ведь сегодня, если брать вот эту Европу, так называемую, то главный рассадник всей гадости — это именно Лондон.
Может, вы серьезно говорите, что нужно ударить по Лондону?
Серьезно считаете, что надо ударить по Москве? Они об этом серьезно рассуждают. А мы должны стесняться говорить о том, что мы должны ударить по Лондону.
They just threatened to nuke London if the U.S. puts Patriot missiles on the ground in Ukraine. This is reckless. Additionally, this means that missiles fired from the Patriot missile batteries can go deep into Russia and threaten nuclear bases. Absolutely ridiculous. We have more warmonger in the White House that's going to get us into a nuclear war.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
We're going to close that right there. So we're going to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Rashah. Double honor to the apostle brothers, the elder great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.